I wish you heard Sister Erica's story. Did she share the story in this conference? I wish you heard it. She knows what I'm telling you by experience. You go look for it on the internet. She knows what to do at midnight to fly. She knows. So while you are trekking, she doesn't trek. She knows. Because at that time, she had the power of Satan. She had the dimension of Satan. So she knew what to do. She can't do it now again because that dimension is not there. But now she has a superior dimension. So she can do superior things now.
In there are cities. But these cities, the way I was seeing them, it's like the way they build, they don't paint. And everything is with rocks. So you can be in a rock, but it's a city. And it's like a world, you know? There are activities that are going on there. So.
Cities, buildings, or?
Real buildings, like the way we are in this building inside. But the thing is, even if they're in the water is not pouring on them. They are designed places where you can see the waters, but it's not everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah. So we go to this place, and she tells me to sit. It's like a dining table, but it's made of rocks, and even the chairs are from rocks. When you're just looking at it from another angle, you cannot know that that's a dining. But that place is so advanced that everything just automatically works. So I just found myself sitting there, and then they had containers or dishes where they eat, but these dishes are made out of rocks, and they are beautiful dishes. Everything there literally is made out of rock and dust. So
it looked bad?
It's not bad. It's like these are forsaken places, but everything there is advanced. It's like this when you enter, you know that these places have been here, but they have been forsaken. You can feel like, you know how you enter a house where people have not been. It's a beautiful house, but there has not been anybody staying there. How you feel when you're entering that place, that's how I felt when I was entering this place. So now, there's one thing that scared me. She said, now it's time for you to see my mom. And to see her mom, if where I'm sitting, if I'm to say the direction that the mom was, it was on my far end, on the right. And then on the left, there are two like, how do I say, corridors. One that goes this side and the other that goes the other side. So she said, you're going to see my mom, then you're going to see my sister's mom, the one that is rude, my classmate. You're going to see her mom. But that one, it will depend on if my sister is willing to be your friend. Because as it is, she seems not to be interested in your friendship. I don't know why, but she takes a while to accept people in her life. She doesn't just accept people, but I'm going to convince her to be your friend. Okay. So now, thing that shocked me, so very handsome men in that place, they had been enslaved. Very handsome men, young men, they had been enslaved. And now that is as we were going to see her mom. These men were in chains. And some of them were free, but it's like they had forgotten who they were. And they were working and serving. They were rendering service to her mom. And she said, my mother is the mother of the sea. And many people consult with my mom for wealth. So my dad was a businessman. And he started consulting my mom for wealth. And my mom gave my dad wealth. But my dad betrayed my mom. So the dad went intimate with the sisters. And then that's how the other classmate of mine came into the picture. And when they found out, they decided that a human being cannot be the reason as to why they separate, because them, they are united.
Sister.
Saida's mom. So now, when this happened, they decided that a human cannot be the reason as to why there is division among them, because they are united. So what they decided to do is to enslave him. But he had children who were 100% human, and he had children who were hybrid. And that makes them, and she said that all of them are named after their dad, and they're all called Muhammad. That's their dad's name. And that's how they are able to identify themselves. And that's how they are able to also be beneficiaries of the businesses. That even if he's not there, they are running the businesses and they are beneficiaries. They have lawyers who make sure that every child gets a percentage from the wealth. And even the women that they have to also be able to, he had to be able to help their siblings, their human siblings. And she mentioned to me okay, about her companies. And I'm going to tell you about her companies because at some point my brother also went and worked in their company and he didn't know. And I told her to fire my brother. I said, please don't involve my brother in this. At least fire my brother and find my dad employment. And that's what they did. And they got my dad employment and my dad was so excited. He didn't know. He didn't know what we had done. Yeah, so now she explained that to me and I started now fearing. Fear entered me. I'm like, with Majini, with people that are not people, because people have been hearing of stories of those things at the coast, people that half fish, half human, and they think it's just stories, but these things are real. These beings exist.
So, when you entered into that world, you saw that it was like a maze, like a place full of corridors.
It's full of corridors and full of departments, and it's a very busy place and a place where many people are enslaved, especially
so
the men.
So you saw many beings there.
Enslaved
many men there.
Yes, many enslaved men. Now we go to reality. She's now taking me to where the mother is. I saw a mother sitting in a pool. I will not say it is a small swimming pool like the ones that we are used to. When we say a pool, a person can imagine a small swimming pool, but a pool in that like where we were is a world, but that looks like a pool because it's partitioned. It's the partition place that I saw water, and there's this being that is half fish and half human sitting in that water, and the tail flows all the way from where she is at the end to where we were, so she would even flap the tail and splash some water on the daughter. Now,
how big was that room?
It wasn't a room. The whole place, because it's covered, it's under, it may appear like it's a house or it's a room, but it's beyond a house. It's so huge. It's a wide place. It has many departments. It has many places you can go, and you can be in the same place and not even see each other because it's a big world under there. There are factories, there are laboratories,
So it's like a huge cave?
Yes. And everything is like, as I explained, everything is like in rocks. It's made out of rocks and dust.
What is the general color in that?
The color of the rocks? Brownish and grayish and greenish. That's the color there. And the greenish is for the water plants. Because those beings also have herbs. They manufacture cosmetics and they manufacture herbs. And I'm going to explain in details what they manufacture there and how they function both there and here. So, see, she tells me this is my mom. What scared me the most is not even just seeing a being who is half human and half tail, but what scared me is what that being was doing. I saw these men, they were serving, they had trays, they were carrying trays, and these trays were trays of hands of men. They had chopped off hands of men, and they were putting the tray on some on the right, and then there are trays that they were bringing that had babies, and this mother of the sea was mostly interested in eating the heads of these babies. When I saw this, I started now feeling like I'm going to throw up. When I started feeling like I'm going to throw up, my friend brought something but made out of a rock where I can throw up in case I'm feeling disgusted. I threw up there, and she helped me. She said, I'm going to take this vomit and pour it on the other side. The curiosity in me would not allow me to stay this side. I was like, supposing I stay this side and the mother eats me. Let me follow my friend. I followed her without telling her that I'm coming after her because I let her walk somehow ahead of me. When I followed her, what I found again was more disgusting. She did not pour the vomit. She was taking the vomit.
She was drinking the vomit?
Yes. It was so disgusting that I came back and I sat on the table where we arrived. The first place I told you how I was given a seat. And I sat there and I started banging my head. I'm like, now what have I entered into? Where am I? When am I going back? What if she's after the vomit she's coming to eat me? Is this it for me? Will I ever see my people again? I started now thinking so much. And as I was thinking, that's when the sisters also showed up. The sisters showed up. This girl who hated me, the one I call Saida, she started behaving funny now. she started making a sound like a hissing sound. Like she wants to come after me, like I've come and I'm their enemy and I've come in their camp and I'm not supposed to be there. And my friend was trying to protect me from her sister. Then she told me, this is our family. This is my sister. Forget her aggressiveness. I brought you here because I'm interested in working with you. I have a career that I'm building there. I'm going to be a model. And I also have a cosmetics company. I have a fashion company. So I get some of my materials from here, and that's what makes my things unique. And she started explaining to me. There's that girl, the girl that I called Claudia in the other documentary. She said that girl works for us. She's the health prefect, the school. She has access to the sanitary towels. We gather all that, and then we also use it as part of the material. And then we squeeze out the blood, and we use it as part of the material. I mix with the herbs, and I do very good skin products. She said, I have a laboratory. Forget about my mom and the naked men that you see. That one I'm trying to not to go in depth because I know there are children that watch.
Oh, those men were naked?
They were naked, very naked as they were born. And those men were helping them to multiply, because what they want to create a kind of children that can survive both here and there in their world. So now, if they mix with a human being, there are chances of them having a full human baby or a baby who is half tail, half human. So if they have a full human baby, after the baby has matured, they bring the baby here. And the baby lives among us and they grow. So there are some people that are not 100% human. And those are the people who are influencing in business and they are having big positions in power. They are the ones that are positioned in high places. So now, she explains to me, she says, I'm going to start now a beauty company where I'm going to bring things that I believe are going to sell. And I said, what are those? She said, I'm going to sell implants to enlarge people's body parts for women who want to have bigger breasts, bigger hips. You know, if you want to add something to your body, I'm going to bring those implants. But how we work is this. I don't appear anywhere. Me, I'm behind the scenes. I use celebrities to be the face of my product because I don't want anybody to know that I am behind this and I am the owner of this. So even the one who poses as the owner of that company is not the owner. I pay that person to be the face company. And then she said, now I'm looking at working with you because I just liked you. I want to work with you and I'm willing to pay you and I will tell you what we want you to do for us. But for now, I'm just introducing you to who we are. So I said, okay, now what else do you collect from us? And why are you interested in blood? I said, we are not only interested in blood, we are interested in the human ovaries, the womb of a woman, because we are also interested in the fetus. We are also interested in the sperm, in the seed of a human being. We are interested in anything that leads to the life of a human being. And once we attach that to our product, there's no way they can resist because there's power in DNA. They just find themselves addicted to our product, but they don't know why. And that's what makes us to stand out in the market. Now, I said, okay, so what do you do with all these products? You say the fetus, you say the ovaries, you say the blood. How does all this work? And she showed me even the babies that they kill. She showed me how they grind those bones, how they mix it with their powder. She showed me how they make those nails, the powder for the nails. She showed me how they mix
acrylic nails.
Yes, the powder that makes some of those nails. She showed me how they get the blood, how they mix it with that some of the paint that we use for our nails, the ladies. So because it has, you know how blood dries. So they want that element where when you apply, it dries, you know. So they get it from the blood. So they explained a lot about cosmetics that they create there. Not every cosmetic, but some of the cosmetic that they create from that kingdom. So the only way to know is through prayer. You pray over everything that you buy because there's no way of differentiating which one is coming from where. But one thing you have to know, any product that you see a celebrity promoting, especially those secular artists, promoting that cosmetic, they are promoting that powder, they are promoting that lipstick, they are promoting that product, just know where it's coming from. Because their product is very different from the normal product. It's original.
It has this expensive look and feel to it.
Yeah, so she now starts explaining and things start making sense. And she said, I'm working with celebrities and we are going to bring it. We are going to bring our items and it's going to sell. And indeed, she started a beauty company that sold. She made millions of money because the celebrities were promoting that product. But at a certain point, women started rotting. You go and enlarge your butt and then the butt starts rotting. The breasts start rotting because it's from the marine kingdom. So they don't show you the side effects. They show you the beauty. So, and then it's a lie because they get people who are already beautiful, people who already have the curves, and they lie to you that they also use their product. Yes. So the kingdom of darkness survives on lies. So this one who wants to be like this celebrity will also go and try the product so that they look like the celebrity. And before they know, they are rotting. Meanwhile, the more the people are dying, the more these ones are making money. And you'll be surprised. You'll be wondering why the governments are not shutting down such businesses because they are selling things that are harmful to humanity. But these people are positioned in high places. You can start a company that is making Vaseline and is shut down the next day because it has not been licensed. And yet your product is nice. But theirs that is killing people and there is evidence. There are people who are guarding it. So they are positioned in high places. So she explained this to me and she said, now, even if we have all this set up, I don't want you to think that we can be successful on our own. We need humans to be able to accomplish our visions. Because humans were given dominion there, just like we have dominion here. Because if I had not showed you the way here, you wouldn't be here. So now you have the ability to help me accomplish my vision there. And I can also work with you here.
Of course.
So now...
They need human collaborators.
Yes. Now she told me, don't follow me. Let me go and talk to my sister. If she allows, you'll see her mother. Then the other sisters, as we continue, you'll get to know them. For now, you're going to only see our two mothers, and the others, they will see you. The more they trust you, the more you come back. The more they trust you, the more you come back. And when you work with us, you cannot be poor. Don't you see how we are living? We are students like you. We have our lives. We are not looking for a future. Like you people, you're in school trying to secure a future. For us, we already have futures. So now I said, okay, even if I'm in school looking for a future, I want you people to give my dad something to do. But again, I don't want you people to trap him. I don't want you people to trap my brother because I only have them. If you can give my dad something that he can do and then support me in school and I live comfortably, then I'll be okay. So that's how one of their people, one of their relatives, decided to come and pretend that he has parked home opposite our home. And then he saw my dad and came, he greeted him and he said, I'm looking for somebody who can help me to furnish this house and to supply pallets and different things. I want to do a contract with that person. And somebody directed me that you're good at that. So I want to give you that job. And it was a good paying job. So my dad, it was his first time to get a good paying job like that. And he said, I can't believe an Arab can speak to me so nice because of the things I've heard about Arabs, the way they look at blacks. This man spoke to me like I'm his son. And he gave me this contract. And he gave me this money without even me delivering anything. He didn't know that I had applied for him.
Uh-huh.
But now that was to make me understand that if I work with them, my life is going to change. So let me go to the other side of that.
Please describe the mother. How did she look?
Okay. She was in between Arab and Asian.
This was the mother goddess.
Yes,
now.
Very beautiful, very huge. When I'm talking about a pool, I'm not talking about a small person. I'm talking about a huge being. This is a being that is eating 12 babies in just like seconds. 12 babies. This thing is huge, but beautiful.
How huge? How tall was he from the top of the head to the soles of the
like
to the bottom of the fins?
Like I explained to you, the height, you were asking me how tall is this being if it was to stand, how tall, and I told you like from our window.
Obviously it's for them.
Yes.
Yeah, so
like
let's do that again. How tall is this being?
Third floor, like how you see the third floor window, if it's a house and it has a first, second and third floor,
yes,
all the way down. That is how huge the thing is.
Okay.
The height. Then the size, let me estimate from here. Like from this wall, the kitchen wall, to there. So I don't know how many meters.
How wide that's the width.
The width.
So she's about as wide as the average living room.
Yes. So, and she's huge, but beautiful.
She's like, man, she's like 7-8 meters wide.
Yes. That's why I was telling you that it's not a house, even if it is a covered place. It's not a house, it's a world. It's a world that has been isolated. It's not even supposed to exist, but it's somehow there.
Okay.
So, looking at this, the way the lady was dressed, you would see, the color of a fish, somehow silver. And then that's how she's wearing a top that is not covering the navel, but it is half, and it has like scales, those glittering scales. Yes. And here behind at the back, it's like they just cover, they just tie there are ropes that they just tie around the back. And then the other thing I noticed is the color is in between Asian and in between like as if you could think it is an Indian and Arab. It was confusing. Yeah. So said that's their mother. That's the mother of the sea.
Did she speak? Did she say anything?
She was speaking to the daughter, but she did not speak to me. They have their own language that they speak.
So you did not understand what she was saying.
And how they speak is like how you see. Have you ever seen an upset cat releasing a certain sound? Like it's upset, it wants to attack you and produces a sound like something like that. So that's how they speak. You can hear that they are communicating, but you cannot understand what they are communicating. The hair, it's from the head all the way it floats on the water. It has very long hair and curly, beautiful hair. So she decides that I go and see. Now the other mother has allowed me to go and see. And we go to the left side. As I explained, there is this side where my friend went and took my vomit. I've never forgotten that thing. And then we go to the extreme left. Now, I thought I had seen it all until I went that side. I regretted going there. At that point, I felt like my life stopped a bit because of the thing that I saw. Now, I see this being that down is a snake, up it's human. Down is a red snake. Up it is human. It has a golden crown, like a queen. It's sitting on its throne, and the tail covers the pool where it is. Almost the same size as the other one, but a bit smaller. Then the hair, sometimes it would coil, and then you would see like it is forming serpentine heads. Sometimes the hair falls to the back and it covers the pool. This thing is so scary. The tongue, when it's talking, it comes out. You can see like a normal tongue, sometimes it splits. So it's not one. This is, I don't know how to explain. It's very scary. And then what is calming this thing down? The fact that it's in the pool with my friend, so it cannot come to attack me. My friend Ida told me by then, she was my friend. She told me, if my sister goes there, you will not be harmed. But if my sister leaves that pool, even us, we don't go there anyhow. This thing is not friendly. And that explains to you why my sister is like that, because that is her mom and that is how they are. But the fact that they have allowed you to come, they have accepted you.
Okay.
When the thing saw me, it started making a certain sound. And as it started making that sound, now that's when I started, it's like it was communicating to me. But now in the spiritual realm, you're able to understand everything. You're not limited like here in the physical realm.
Okay.
Now, the other one did not communicate to me. This one here communicated to me. And the most annoying part, she was holding a very huge golden mug full of human semen, and she was drinking.
How did you know that was semen in there?
When she was communicating, the things that she communicated to me is now how I got to understand everything that was happening. She told me that for them, they don't hide. Their mission is to kill men. Because there will be enmity between the seed of a woman and a seed of a serpent. And she said their mission is to target men. And she has daughters, adopted and biological daughters, that she has sent out to go on that mission and fulfill it for her. And she's so proud of her daughter, the one that we are studying with, because she does that mission very well. And to prove to me that she targets only men, she was drinking the semen. She was showing me the mug that has the semen. As she's producing that sound, you can understand everything that she's trying to say. And she says she attacks men in every way possible. In dreams, she attacks them. She appears like a beautiful woman, and she causes men to have those
Wet dreams.
and they wake up feeling defiled, and she steals their destinies, their sweat, and their energy. She says she drinks their semen and their sweat, and she enjoys doing it. And she told me that if anybody does it for her, she's willing, even if it means to give that person the whole world to do it, she's willing to do it. Because once you accept to work for them, they enter you, and then your face is what they use to seduce men and lure them into their trap. So you've seen those celebrities that men look at and they go and start masturbating? Yeah, so she explained to me everything. And she said that they are in a position of making people powerful, successful, as long as they help them to accomplish their mission. And their mission is the enmity between their seed and the seed of a woman. And she said, and these people that come to work for them, when they are aborting, they are also helping them to accomplish whatever they are supposed to do, because they don't want any seed coming to life, any seed coming from a woman coming to life. So even in that mission, when a woman gets pregnant and they decide to abort, they are sacrificing to their kingdom. And then they survive on the life force, on the energies of those innocent souls that have been killed innocently and prematurely. And she said, we steal and rob men's destinies. And that's what we want you to also help us accomplish, because we cannot do everything on our own. We need the help of a human.
Okay.
Now, with me, I'm not interested in men. How are you people going to start using me to trap men that I'm not even interested in? I don't want relationships, because by then I was not interested in men. I don't want relationships, and I don't see how I'm going to help you.
You were still in high school anyway.
Yes, I was still in high school. And then even that, I think the enemy had wired me to promote the other agenda, the homosexuality agenda. Those days I was like a tomboy. I just started wearing heels and dresses after giving my life to Jesus. You even helped me to start wearing heels. I was not a person of heels. So now they started now telling me what they want me to do. Like their assignment for me. They started now giving me those assignments. Now I said, how am I going to do this? They said, you don't have to panic. What we are going to do, my daughters are going to show you what you're supposed to do. And when we direct you to do something, just do it for us and leave the rest for us. We'll handle. Now, when we finished talking to that mother of my friend Saida, not real name, we went back to where we were coming from.
You didn't describe her face, the appearance of this.
She was looking very pale white, like very white. I cannot say that it's a white person, because this white was abnormal. And then the other thing I had forgotten to tell you about Ida, my friend, she told me that when you proceed from where we were, going all the way, there's also another corridor that is sloping, and it's like inside there is a portal.
So it's not like these two goddesses are in the same place. By the time you go in this direction, towards another corridor, when you go through that corridor, you're entering into a portal.
Yes.
That takes you into
another place.
Okay.
So now they said to go there, I have to go on invitation. And she said that the beings that are there are very dark, not brown, but dark. And those beings are so advanced. They're the ones that create the viruses, the bacteria, the weapons that they use in war, the poisons. They create all those things, but they are not friendly.
Biological warfare.
Yes, they like enslaving. Even some of them sometimes get enslaved by those beings. So they avoid going there as much as possible, unless they need to go there. That's when they go. So those darker ones are not friendly. They are so advanced in the things of war. And the people who go there are the people that are in power. The politicians, the wives to the politicians, those first families, those are the people that go there. I said, if you go there, you'll be amazed. You'll find your leaders there. Because it's there that they choose who's going to be in power. Now, we came back to where we were, the first place. I think if a person asks me, how long do you think you stayed there? We could have stayed there like for 9 hours. Because the time we came back, it was like around 4 in the morning. And remember, we left at around 9. So for me coming back and knowing that now I'm back, it was around 4. But before, Ida told me that those men that I see there, they are trapped because of their appetites.
Right.
And some of them are in a position where they cannot escape. But there are situations where their family members find out that their son went missing, and they start praying for their son. And when they pray, they begin to notice that they are being disorganized through prayer. So what they do, they have the ability to erase everything in a man's memory and then dispose him like waste. Because they cannot keep him anymore. No, they don't kill him, because by the time they start praying for you, they don't have power to kill you. But what they do is to only erase your memory and then dispose you of like waste. So when the family members meet this person, they say this person went missing, and now they found him. They say, hey, maybe which name should I use? Hey, Wilson, we've been looking for you. This person will be looking at them and wondering, who's Wilson? When did you start looking for me? Where have you been? He has no answer. Because they have erased his memory. And he was a slave there, because they know he knows so much and he's going to expose them. So they make sure when they release that person, he doesn't know who he is. Some of them, they release them when they are mad, but when they say that the family is prayerful, they'll continue praying for him even when he's mad. They just leave him to look normal, but he doesn't know who he is.
Mad meaning that he's lost his mind.
He's lost his mind. Yeah. So now, my friend said, now let's go back. I'll give you an assignment. I'll tell you why we brought you here and what we want you to do. I've introduced you to my people. You've been asking me. And now let's go and work. So now we just still through the same way that we came. The moment I crossed the pole, I found myself in the same place floating, and then we swam, and then we went to the shore. Going at the shore, we met that Kenyan celebrity that I was talking about and some DJs, and we entered into the car, and they drove us to the apartment from Entebbe. We went to Jinja, and then we rested. It was a Saturday. Then Sunday, we rested, prepared to go to school. We started now packing, because whenever they would go, they would come with cosmetics, they would come with their beauty products. Yes, so we started packing, and some of those things, they were using them to initiate students. So now, from there is when we went back to school. Going back to school, I was a bit scared, not even a bit. I was really scared, but I didn't know how to to tell my friend that I'm so scared about this. So the next weekend before we get our holidays, we still escaped from school, and then we go to club. When we went to club, I was seeing my friends, those siblings, the way they were behaving. Now I know their mission. When I see the other sider with a man, I know that man is going to die. She told me something. I mean, if you have a child who is below 18, even if they are youth, you might need to first take them away and then have to hear what she confessed to me. She said, these men, I kill them. I kill them by sleeping with them. I asked her, how do you kill men by sleeping with them? She said, with her beauty, she kills men. And not only her beauty, men who are so lustful, she kills them from their appetites. I said, how? She said, you saw my mom drinking their semen? I said, yes. She said, I do oral sex on men, and I make sure I drink their sperm. Any man I do that to, that man has to die. I'll enslave that man. When I know that it's their time to die, I'll quit that relationship. And I have killed many men in the hundreds. So now I was like, hey, with murderers and with people who are so heartless. So that weekend, then now we went for holidays. When we went for holidays, because our parents were struggling financially, my brother decided to go and look for a job. He got a job in a cosmetics company, making lotions. And when I investigated, I said, who is your boss? He said, he's called Muhammad. I said, bro, that's not a good place for you, because I knew the family. I knew what they were doing behind the scenes. What my brother was doing was to pack the lotions. But he didn't know what they had used to make the lotions. But now, how do I tell him that I know these people? He asked me, how do you know them? How did you see that? I just went and attacked my friend. I told her, please, whatever you're doing, I don't want my brother enslaved. You've enslaved me and not my brother. So now that's when I brought up that idea for my dad. At least, let your relative fire my brother and then give my dad a job so that he can provide for him. But my brother was determined to work. When he was fired there, he went and started working in another company, but at least not the other marine company. Yeah, so it got so bad for me. They started now taking me to that life of partying, going to clubs. I would see that girl going out with men, coming back, and she would come back and laugh and say, I have killed that one. He doesn't know he's enjoying, he doesn't know he's dead. He's a dead walking person. So they would laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. So now it got to a point, they bring you in slowly. Now it gets to a point where they also want you to do what they are doing. And I told my friend, I'm not ready to do what you people are doing. I'm not ready. And she said, you know so much about us. For us to know that you're one of us, you also have to do what we are doing. I said, no, me, I cannot mix men. I don't want to mix men. I'm not strong. We are not. I started now explaining to her. I didn't know that in explaining to her, I'm going to upset her. I said, me, I'm not strong like your mother. I mean, I see your mother sleeping with all those hundreds of boys. I cannot do that. I'm not like your mother. And when I said that, she said, so that I introduced you to my mom, you're using it as a leverage to insult her? How can you? I trusted you. How can you insult my mom? And she walked out of the club, and that's the last time I saw her. And I knew when she walked out of that club, I knew it is trouble. And indeed, it was trouble for me. Because when I went back to school, I could not complete that year, second term. I was always fainting. I was always in and out of hospital. It got to a point that I just told my mom, please let me rest this year, because I don't even know what I'm studying. I'm in school one day, the whole week I'm in hospital. My life was in a mess. So that whole year, I did not go to school. Then the following year, because my mom was prayerful, I was now stable, and she transferred me and took me to another school. So just felt like if I share some of these things, because many people just see things physically with their physical eyes, they don't understand that life is spiritual. They don't see the need to take their life seriously, especially young men who are looking for pleasure. You're looking at that beautiful girl. You don't know how, you don't take time to find out about their background. Who is their parent? Where are they coming from? You're just in club and you're excited about beauty. You just got a good job. God has blessed you with a job. Now you feel you can buy all the women that you want to buy in the world. You feel you can live your life the way you want to live it. Telling you, you're playing yourself. You have to live your life according to how God wants you to live it. That's how you're going to escape these kinds of people. And also to send a warning, not to instill fear, but to send a warning that not everyone you see is 100% human. There are people that are human and there are people that are not human. If you're searching for a person to marry, pray. Ask God, seek God, and God will guide you to the right people. And also, you do a background check. Don't just be excited by the curves, by the color. I've seen beautiful girls. When I talk about these ladies, they are beautiful is a small word to use to explain how they look. They have everything. They are well endowed. They are beautiful. They have the height. They have the colors. They have the curves. They are educated. They have the money. So seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. I pray that as you listen to all these documentaries that we are sharing, you borrow something, some information, and you will use it to guide your life. Please, men, know that your seed is on demand. It's not just about fun. Everything is spiritual. Even sex is spiritual. Life is spiritual. So just be awake and be alert.
So thank you for what you've shared. Like, a lot of people will not be ready for that kind of information, but there are those who will, and God help those who won't. May God help them, because they think that what they know is everything there is to know, and whatever they don't know, they feel like it doesn't matter. But
in fact, that beach, there are times when people would die. They wake up and find bodies floating on that beach. That is sacrifice. So people are drinking and thinking that they're having fun. There is a time, even on that same lake, where a boat capsized and hundreds of people died. So there are portals on Lake Victoria. There are portals there. Yes. So people have to be aware that
those are gates.
The girls who are looking for rich men, if you don't know the source of that wealth, then don't be so excited. You may be the sacrifice. So you have to pray. I'm not saying every rich person is bad, but now a person like Muhammad, who had businesses, how many wives did he marry? And look at how these children are covenanted to the marine kingdom. Breaking that covenant. If me, who was an outsider, I would tell you how I struggled to break free from these girls. Even during my deliverance, they were manifesting because there was a covenant for them to take me there and introduce me to their family. And me passing through those pillars, those were initiations that I had to deal with. For a very long time, they used to tie me and pray for me. And it took like about 3 years for me to get fully delivered. Joining is very easy, but getting out is not easy.
You know, the Bible speaks about these things, but it might not tell you about the beings that are underwater that conspire for the seed of men or for the wombs and ovaries of women and the demand they have for blood and for the flesh of humanity. Mankind thinks that they are at the top of the food chain, but the truth is that there are beings that are higher on the food chain than man. If man is living in sin, there are beings that are higher on the food chain. Remember, God told Adam, if you eat of this tree, of the knowledge of good and evil, he said, you shall surely die. And he said, for dust you are, and to dust you shall return.
Yep.
And remember, he told the serpent, when he cursed the serpent, he said, upon your belly shall you go, and dust shall you eat all the days of your life. So when man lives in sin, he becomes food for the serpent. But the connection is not made between those two things for most people. In Proverbs 5 from verse 1, the Bible says, my son, attend unto my wisdom, bow your ear to my understanding, that you may regard discretion, and that your lips may keep knowledge. He says, for the lips of a strange woman drop as an honeycomb, and her mouth is smoother than oil. But her end is bitter as wormwood, sharp as a two-edged sword. Her feet go down to death, her steps take hold on hell. Lest you should ponder the path of life, her ways are movable, that you cannot know them. He says, hear me now, therefore, O you children, and depart not from the words of my mouth. Remove your way far from her, and come not near the door of her house, lest you give your honor unto others, and your years unto the cruel. He says, lest strangers be filled with your wealth, and your labors be in the house of a stranger. And you mourn at the last, when your flesh and your body are consumed, and say, how have I hated instruction, and my heart despised reproof? And have not obeyed the voice of my teachers, nor inclined mine ear to them that instructed me. I was almost in all evil in the midst of the congregation and assembly. As he speaks of the nature of this world, the earth is covered in spirits. There's spirits everywhere. There are good spirits, there are evil spirits. Of course, there are the spirits of angels that have been sent, but we've not been told to interact with them directly. We speak the word of God and we just trust that they obey the word of God. But there are spirits involved, and they're watching humanity. And so they can see the sins that we're committing when we think nobody's watching. He says, I was almost in all evil in the midst of the congregation and assembly. And then he gives his counsel from verse 15. Drink waters out of your own cistern, and running waters out of your own well. Let your fountains be dispersed abroad, and rivers of waters in the streets. He says, let them be only your own, and not strangers with you. He's talking about your bodily fluids. Let them only be your own. He said, drink waters out of your own cistern. That means only be with the person you're married to, because the act of sex is like drinking waters out of a fountain. You'll be filled up with that person, and that person will be filled up with you. It's like pouring water from one glass into another. You're full of each other. He says, let them be your own and not strangers with you. Verse 18, he says, let your fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of your youth. Your fountain is what he's referring to as your reproductive organs is what he's referring to as your fountain. He said, let your fountain be blessed. Let your reproductive organs be blessed. And how can they be blessed? If they're not defiled by fornication, by masturbation, by pornography, by lust, the lust of the flesh. He says, let your fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of your youth. Verse 19, let her be as the loving hind and pleasant roe. Let her breasts satisfy you at all times, and be thou ravished always with her love. And he says, and why will you, my son, be ravished with a strange woman, and embrace the bosom of a stranger? That's what Saida reminds me of, the strange woman, the bosom of a stranger. He says, for the ways of man are before the eyes of the Lord, and he ponders all his goings. His own iniquity shall take the wicked himself, and he shall be holden with the cords of his sin. He shall die without instruction, and in the greatness of his folly he shall go astray. You see, she said, was it Aida or something like that? She said that their lust is what I take them with.
Yes.
She says, I kill them with I kill them with their appetites. Yeah. I destroy them with the lust of their own flesh.
Then I asked her about HIV, going with all these men. Aren't you afraid of HIV? That time, what she told me didn't make sense. Now it makes sense. She said that she cannot get infected with HIV. I asked her how. She said she can use a coil, and that coil, even if she sleeps with somebody with HIV, she cannot get it. And then she also explained to me that there's an injection she can get in her body, and then she doesn't get HIV, even if she slept with somebody with HIV. And now I'm seeing it coming. There's a coil that a person can use, and for 1 month, you don't contract HIV. It fights any virus that wants to enter the body. And the PrEP injection that people are now taking, that now when you use it 2 months, you can even be with somebody with HIV and you don't contract it. But by then, she was telling me these things. I was young and it never made sense.
Wow. And when you describe the way Ida or Saida's mother looked, she had the lower part of a fish, and the upper part, she was naked, but she was covering her breasts with some kind of a scaly type thing. You know, the Little Mermaid, the Walt Disney character, this little girl, the Little Mermaid, that's exactly how she looks.
They tell us everything. They bring it to us in our faces and they make it look like a joke.
You know, Starbucks logo is actually a mermaid, and it used to be a vile logo because it was a woman that was topless, she's wearing a crown, and she's spreading her legs.
They have companies.
Yeah.
As she was explaining.
So that tells you right there that the owner of that company is definitely in covenants. He didn't just start a business that took over America like that. He's in covenants. And he's not the only one. There's so many of these mega corporations, multi-billion-dollar companies that are in covenants with the Marine Kingdom.